everybody, it is Quickened and welcome back to another episode of Tattoo Talk Tuesday. So if it is your first time joining us on the Quickened channel, Tattoo Talk Tuesday is our weekly interactive talk show where I take user submitted questions and try to lend my experience to you guys as a tattoo collector. So this week I thought, I get a lot of questions about skincare with tattoos and protecting tattoos from the sun, freckling. I thought it would be really cool, in honor of the sunburn I got over the weekend, to start talking about different things like sunscreen, freckling, sunless tanning, things like that. And I definitely just want to jump in because, in Philadelphia it has been raining for like 2 weeks, but summer is coming and the sun is a big problem for tattooed people. So I am going to start off by talking about freckling and tattooing. This is not going to be a conversation about freckle tattoos because I think that the internet absolutely hates them. Oh my god. Have you been on Instagram? I like them and I'd love to do a video on them, but I don't think the world is ready. So I wanted to talk about freckling and tattoos. So I am a person who gets freckles. I'm very fair skinned and just being outside, I usually freckle up. My shoulders are probably where I get the most freckles, and then my arms and my face. I always wondered, can I still get freckles on top of tattoos? And the answer is yes. So I was talking to Teague and I asked him, he is a tattooer, I can link his Instagram down below. I asked him, I was like, hey, can you tattoo over freckles? I've always had this question because I've filled out, waivers and stuff at tattoo shops, and I filled out a waiver before that said, are you prone to freckling? And I was always really curious about that because I was like, what does it matter? And I remember whenever I got that tattoo, it must have been years ago, I asked the front desk person, I was like, actually, I do get freckles. Should I answer yes? Should I lie? And the front desk person just said, if you get a ton of freckles, like a really freckled person, it's just a part of the waiver, I guess, because if you continue to get freckles, it might mess up the tattoo. So in the beginning, if you say on your waiver, yes, I get freckles, then you acknowledge that freckles may damage your tattoo. But I was always under the impression that tattoos lived above the skin and freckles lived below the skin, and if you got a tattoo on top, you just never saw those freckles ever again, which is not true. So I'll show some close-ups of parts of my arm where I actually have freckling that is over top of the tattoo. Now, it wasn't, immediate, and like Teague said, you can get tattoos on top of your freckles, and then they're on top. But over time, you can start to get freckles continuously over top because they live in the same layer of the skin. So I actually have some freckling, and I can see it pretty well. I have a lot of freckles in the cardinal of my tattoo. My cardinal tattoo, you can see them around his mouth, but then if you look at his little forehead, you can see some discoloration, and it is because of freckles. So I could go and get a touch-up and get black over top of that again, and it would be saturated all over again. But the freckles do interrupt the tattoo. So I do have some freckling in my red rose right here too. And I noticed one of the first freckles I ever got was on my No Luck face girl. And the freckle, unfortunately, is right at the corner of her eye. So the freckle almost extends her eye because it's right there. So there's a couple things you can do about freckling in your tattoos. You can love them, which is primarily what I do. I've had freckles my entire life and they don't interrupt a ton of my tattoos. And the ones that they do, it's fine. You can seek removal. So when I had my laser tattoo removal, I was also warned that the laser is the same frequency that would remove tattoos as well as freckles. So because they kind of live in that same part of your skin, the laser tattoo removal can remove freckles too. which I didn't know. I didn't even know you could get your freckles removed, but you can. And because I have a lot of freckling on my shoulders and back, I was kind of worried that I would have this like strange bald spot on my back when I had my tattoo removal. I haven't taken a good look at my back. That might be so, but not enough for me to really notice. So removal is an option for you, or you can wear sunscreen, which is my segue into sunscreen. So people ask me all the time, like, can you recommend sunscreen to me? What do you think of this brand sunscreen? And I wanted to kind of do a quick little talk about sunscreen is so important if you have tattoos. Basically, if you decide to get visible tattoos, you have to wear sunscreen from now on for the rest of your life. That's what you have to do. I've heard different things. I remember I was like out to eat and this woman was like listening and she was like, "You're really pale, do you wear sunscreen all the time?" And I was like, "Yeah, I had to protect my tattoos." And she was like, "Oh, well, you can't wear sunscreen every single day because the sun has to be able to come into your skin. You have to be able to receive vitamin D from the sun." She said she was a doctor and that she treats patients all the time who have vitamin D deficiencies because they don't go out in the sun. And I mean, that got in my head. I was like, oh no, I can't wear sunscreen every day or else I'll be depressed. And is that why I am and all this stuff? But honestly, limiting your sun exposure is what you need to do, and you just have to find sources of vitamin D somewhere else, Ethan. But honestly, last year when I thought about what that woman said and wore less sunscreen and like went a day or two without sunscreen every once in a while, that's when a lot of the freckling through my tattoos like honestly stood out to me. So I don't know how much truth obviously is in that. I am not a doctor. The most I know about skincare is because I have a cosmetology license, but honestly, protecting your skin I feel like is number one. Different sunscreen brands I have tried are definitely like the common ones, like Banana Boat and what is the one with the dog pulling down? Coppertone. I've tried those, but now I am trying to lean more towards cruelty-free products. So in the last couple of years, like I have, like when I was a lifeguard, every single day I would wear this zinc oxide. It came in a little tub and it was actually from Wegmans and it said like 4 tattoos, and I remember I loved it. It was so thick and like white and just like covered. Sunblock and sunscreen, you want to read them and figure out which one works for you. For the longest time I was using like Coppertone Sport, and it came in a spray, and I would wear that when I was a lifeguard, and I would just reapply a couple times a day, and I would put it on a couple minutes before I left the house because I would ride my bike. So I tried to put sunscreen on at least 30 minutes before I leave, or at least know that I'm going to be in the sun. The problem with the spray sunscreen is it's made of aerosol and it stains your clothes. And after, like, when I was a lifeguard, it didn't matter because I was wearing pretty shitty clothes anyway. But now, like, when I see the stains on my clothes, I'm like, I don't want to throw out all my, like, light colored shirts every year after summer. So watch out with the aerosol because it does tend to stain. So then there is also, like, these more gimmicky, kind of, like, marketed towards tattooed people sunscreen. Kiss My Face has one, which is a brand that I actually ship, so you can check them out. They're cruelty-free. Kiss My Face has one. I think H2 Ocean has one. I'm pretty sure Coppertone has like a tattoo one. And you can compare ingredients on these. In my opinion, I just feel like these are good if you are at the supermarket or something and you notice them and you're like, oh yeah, I have tattoos, I'll pick that up. But you're just looking for a sunblock that has zinc oxide as like the active ingredient. So any like active ingredient sunscreens are going to be great for you. I actually asked Sunny Brimsey what tattoo sunscreen she recommends the most, and she said Bum. Bum is super cool. It says vegan right on the bottle. They sell it at Ulta and you can grab that too. Tarte has one, but it's pretty expensive, but they are a cruelty-free brand as well. You can check those out, but definitely protect yourself from the sun because it's going to fade your tattoos. And when the sun comes into your tattoos, it makes the pigments burst and then they become lighter. And no, that's not exactly how it happens, but it will fade your tattoos over time and it will make the lines blurry and your colors fade, so it's better to just wear sunscreen. If you can't wear sunscreen, you know, if you're just jogging in the morning or whatever you do, there is clothing that is UV protecting. I have a hoodie and leggings from Uniqlo that are UV protected. I used to wear the leggings when I was lifeguard, and I wear the hoodie just like around my neighborhood if I know I'm just like running to the store real quick, because it is lightweight, but it is UV protective. So I get a lot of questions about tanning options, and honestly, like, I don't exactly know. Like, in high school, like before prom, like I definitely went tanning because it was a lot of fun and it felt so good. I don't have any qualms with tanning. I think about the Jersey Shore all of the time. If you are a person who goes tanning, just know that you absolutely have to cover your tattoos with 1,000,000% zinc oxide or tape a freaking piece of paper to your tattoos, because from now on you cannot expose your tattoos to UV light. When I was tanning in high school, I had one tattoo and it didn't matter. But I can say that that tattoo was very faded by the time that I had it laser removed. And I mean, I had it for 10 years, but I do think sun exposure, going tanning, was a lot of the reasons that that tattoo was removed with one freaking session. Sunless tanning will be an option for you. I've been asked before, like, do you sunless tan, and what do your tattoos, are they affected if you sunless tan? Are they stained if you sunless tan? Are they faded if you sunless tan? And I think, you know, I've only done it a few times. I do have a brand that I recommend, and I use Tarte. I think it's like Brazilian. I really do like their sunless tanning. Like, I don't use it a lot. In my life, I've only ever bought one bottle and it's not empty. In beauty school, I was trying different tanners because, like, you want to be well-rounded. What can I say? So I thought today I would finish out the episode with showing you before and afters of using sunless tanning. So I used to have this theory that if I was like had a sunless tan, then I couldn't get sunburn because the sun would think that I had more melanin in my skin than I do because of the tanning. After going to beauty school, I know that that's not true anymore because that's not how melanin works. But I just always felt like if I had like a little bit of a fake tan, I wouldn't get too much of a real tan. But again, if you're fake tanning, you still have to wear sunscreen, or else your tattoos will get freckles in them if it's me, or if it's you, will get sun damaged. So you can get sunburn on your tattoos. I've done it before. It sucks. I feel really bad. I feel bad for my tattoos, like they're dying. And you know, you're not gonna have to run and get them touched up right away if you get one bad exposure to the sun. However, like I said, you have to limit all of your sun exposure like 100%. If you're going to the beach, you have to reapply your sunscreen. You have to get something waterproof. If you are running a marathon, UV protected clothing. And these are just good tips for everybody as well. I mean, the person who, my like valedictorian of my high school, his like parting speech was, wear sunscreen. So like, it's a thing, but it's really true. So I am going to embarrass myself by doing a little sunless tanner, and we'll finish out the episode that way. So the tanner I'm going to use today is, Brazilliance. I said Brazilian. And this is just by Tarte. I'm pretty sure this was $40, but it's lasted me a really long time, and I don't hate the way it smells. So this is an option for you if you want to be tan, but you also have tattoos. After letting my legs kind of develop, because I think it says that on the box, to let it like set in for like 10 or 15 minutes. I think like 20 minutes have gone by, and this is how my legs look with just like one application of the tanner.
kind of really shows how bad I am at shaving. But other than that, I think it's like nice and healthy. I think for tattoos like this, where you can kind of notice, you can see that like the skin is a little more tan right there. But I think that it looks good. And if you are interested, you know, in using tanner and you're worried about your tattoos, I don't think you really have to be. I think it looks perfectly fine. Like, I think that looks pretty good. And I think the back of my leg looks way more tan than the front. Probably because I was like...
So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching Tattoo Talk Tuesday and being a part of it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below. I've never had a spray tan, so if you've had a spray tan with tattoos, definitely let me know your experience and share that too. Do you get freckling, or do you protect your tattoos from the sun in any specific way? Have you tried a more gimmicky tattoo sunscreen and actually really liked it? Let us know. And as always, give this video a thumbs up if you're here for Tattoo Talk Tuesday, and don't forget to subscribe. I make videos like this almost every Tuesday. Thanks again, guys. Bye.